It's Monday when this is like a parenting podcast, and
we just did parent-teacher interviews more than we ever have.
I hate them.
And I have to tell you, well, I now that they're on Zoom, I don't mind because they're so fast and everybody just wants to get through them.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I have like your daughter and my son ask for us to do some parent-teacher interviews, right? So my daughter's like, never, like, just no, if there's a problem, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
And yesterday when we came home, my son wanted a debrief about what the teachers had said about him.
Okay.
And I was like, do understand, it's a parent-teacher interview.
Oh, touche.
The teachers are telling the parents things
that they want you to know about
they
you.
not know because they're like teenage boys, like, a lot of them will never tell their parents things. So every time I said something, like, oh, so surprised you even know that. I'm like,
Oh, really?
Zonkers in our house.
You're like, we know everything. And I know about your routine on Mondays and how you hork every day.
Exactly. But I'm like, parent-teacher interviews, I actually have to give you no information, son. It's between me and the teacher. You should know everything that's going on in the classroom.
Oh, I like to share.
But you don't have to.
Oh, yeah, I know, but why wouldn't I?
Well, I know, but he wanted like, oh, but then what did they say? And then what did...
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, no, you know what happens in your classroom. You're the one who's there. The reason we have these is I'm not there. I don't
Guys, I'm fatigued in school. I'm fatigued of school. I'm fatigued. I can't believe it's only November. I can't believe
it's almost December, though.
It's not.
It's basically.
No, it's not.
Like it's the middle of November.
Yeah, but it's not. There's still all the exams after. Like, it's not.
Then when do they have exams? When does your kids have exams?
It depends. Each one's different. Like, one's in, and I don't think our parents ever had this much involvement in school. It's no wonder we're all losing our minds. It's no wonder to me that we are losing our minds.
Well, I think it's also because, in some ways, parents are, like, it's so crazy how much more involved we are with our kids. And so let's just think, when we were teenagers, we lived our lives.
Yes.
Okay. And then our parents lived their lives.
Yep.
Okay.
And they lived their life.
Now we're living our lives, but the kids are living their lives, but we parents are also living our child's lives.
I know.
We're so into everything they're doing and how they're feeling, and they tell us how they feel. And I mean,
I'm sick of it.
We must have gotten here because we thought it was better. But I mean, a lot of the adults that I know have turned out just fine, and they didn't have their parents as their therapist.
I've
talked to my friends.
I think,
or I talk to myself.
I think we're seeing. It's just my opinion, whether I'm right or today. It's my opinion today. I think we're seeing. This is post-COVID, where we were so micro circle together, did everything together for years that we should not have been doing it together. And it feels like kids are having a harder time transitioning into university from the conversations I'm hearing. They want to come home. They miss home. It's like we've normalized being home so much that going out doesn't feel like a step necessary because it's so good at home. Before it's like, I want to go live my life. Now it's like, I love my life with you.
I wonder what the kids that want to come home, wonder what their life was like compared to, like, because I've been worried about that because I've been hearing about that. So I've been asking a lot of other people, and they're like, no, not at all. They're having the best time ever. And they're like, why wouldn't they be having the best time ever? They're having the best time ever. So what is it about those kids, and what is it about the kids that keep wanting to come home?
I don't know.
I guess personality.
I would say more than ever I've heard of kids. I've never heard of, I guess I'm also in a different stage, but
exactly.
I do think that I don't know if transitioning is it's like a different expectation now. It's like because they have options to talk about it and think about it, and they rely on us so much that it's sort of like that's comfortable. I like
kind
that.
of Canadian, because in the States you're too far.
Yeah.
Like Mark's like, we were talking about it with his friends. They never came home.
My brothers never did.
Never come home?
My brothers never came. They came home for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he went to Western.
Yeah. And that's even still, in the States, you can't.
Yeah. So
it's also a Canadian thing that they're like, I want to come home because it's only like 2 hours.
I'm just so sick of talking about school. Like I feel like school is such a big conversation. I'm like, what is happening? Maybe I need to go, maybe I need to actually go to work. I don't think, we don't find you. I don't think my husband's as dialed in as I am.
Oh my God, not at all.
They don't call him during the day.
Nope.
He's not available.
Nope.
But guess who is? Me.
Yeah. So we're probably the problem too, because we're allowing these conversations and things to happen. Yeah. I used to, be able to not, well, when they were little, I guess it mattered less to their issue. The school was easier. If they were not doing well, it was like, it felt like it was no big deal, until you got the call. The only time you do anything is when you get the call from the teacher and they're like, oh, your kid is really behind. They're like, oh, okay, I got to deal with this. But once they get older, like the fact that we don't have grade 13, we don't have 5 years, and it's only 4 years. That's a really condensed amount of time to like get your shit together coming from junior high. I'd love another year. I would have gone for, I kind of did take a 6th year. I finished high school in my 6th year.
I don't love the expectations of, I just feel like there's so much emphasis on school that how can you even imagine what else is there in life if all there is school? It feels like a marriage or like a wedding when all they would watch. I feel like marriage and weddings have like died down in conversation where it used to be like fairy tales and princesses and they get married. And
I bet we'll get to that age and it'll jump right back into it.
I guess so, but it feels like that conversation has muted a little bit for little kids too. Like Chloe never went through the princess stage where it was like everyone had a princess party. Like she isn't,
the little kids are still doing it.
She hasn't been to one. None of her friends did it, like her demo. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's just so interesting that it feels like we talk about like, we go through phases where we're so interested in like so hardcore, like gentle parenting. Everyone's like, no, that's, I guess nothing should be a trend. Gentle parenting shouldn't be a trend. Parenting should not be a trend.
You should just do it the way you do it. And everyone can do it differently. Like, don't hurt them and don't be mean to them. But otherwise, if you have instincts, parent the way you feel right, I guess, in doing it.
So, Natalie.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, if it's not this thing, it's going to be a next thing. Like I'm sure we were so into whatever they were into.
And my parents were into. I feel like
our parents were.
I feel like I grew up when I was 13.
I know.
I feel like I was grown up.
I know.
Like I feel like I feel like those were the skills that taught me how to live the next bumpy years of life. I feel like if I didn't have those years, you're kind of ill-equipped. They're all ill-equipped.
I know.
They're all quite ill-equipped, actually, if I really break it down. Like, not every teenager, obviously, but I am beginning to think that, like, the life skills you need outside of the conveniences of life, when they used to, I was actually just talking to someone on the Common Parent team, and I said, it's so weird because I feel like parenting's quieter because we're all working on our, like, my dad used to do calls and you hear all the conversations in the calls. So when I would go to the trading room, he had a trading room, it was like just people yelling, screaming. Now apparently, floors are silent. Mm-hmm. They all trade on like computers and stuff. Like it's not a crazy loud environment. And I feel like parenting has become quieter. Kids have become quieter, and the skills for life lessons is less because there's less problems because they're at home doing things insular rather than being out and navigating situations in life. Like right from, when we were younger and we had no money, no cell phone, like you had to beg for a quarter, to collect call. Like it's like those situations prepare you for life when it's a bigger situation, when you're like, let's say stuck in another country and your passports got stolen and we
you're that wild, didn't we?
Yeah, and you're like, everything's been stolen.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do?
Oh God!
But it's the
never, and because we had dealt with so much of that in high school. When those things happened, I swear it didn't even feel like that big of a deal. It's like, oh, I'll just take a train to the consulate by myself, wait outside, in the middle, sleep outside until it opens, and then get it. But and then you guys think about back in the day, there's so many parents who don't want their kids to go on the Toronto subway. That was not an option when we were little.
This is what I'm saying is that I feel like we are parenting so safely right now, but in those moments, there's no room. Like even driving, like I have such a thing that I drive my kids. I love driving them to school. I love picking them up from school because I love the conversations that transpire. But even in the moments of them not thinking about how to get home, is a life skill. Your brain doesn't have to work when mommy's there. So when they come home and they go upstairs to do their homework, I'm just thinking of like, when are there other life skills that they're learning? Where are these life skills that we had to earn? You can't just teach them. You have to earn them.
Family that I know, and I know there's a bunch of families like this, but in particular, I was talking to my kids about it because they saw this kid working, and the kid is the same age as Tucker. And I saw her at work too. And I see a lot of kids working at, arenas and snack bars and stuff like that. And this particular family, the kids always competitive sports, school, but also a job, always a job on the side. And I'm pretty sure that the parents are like, I'm making you get a job so that you like throughout the year, so you have to manage your time, have a boss, like, because they do it during school year.
Yeah.
So did I.
I know.
Right? Like all the way through high school, but it's like not even a consideration because how could I possibly manage it with everything else they're doing?
I know.
Although I didn't do extracurriculars. So I guess if my kids didn't do extracurriculars, I guess I'd say you have to work at the snack bar.
Maybe. Let's take a quick break.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know because they all do it.
Yeah, my Olivia doesn't, but she does like all the school extracurriculars, which is like clubs, and like I have to go do this meeting. But I'm like, I don't know a job that's going to take them sporadically right now, unless she would go look like she could get a job, I guess, and do something somewhere. But like summer jobs are the most important to me. So you get a summer job at least, the very minimum.
But the ones that do it through the year, I'm always like, I love that. I love that mom makes them do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because I see teenagers in grocery stores. Like I see teenagers everywhere. It's like, how come their parents are making them do it? But we're not. But then again, I don't know how they'd have time for it.
It's a freaking life skill.
I guess I didn't, like after school, I could work every single day after school. So I didn't have like anything.
Well, that's not realistic either. Like you're not doing a full-time job. Part-time job is a part-time job.
Yeah.
You know, you do have to do schoolwork. Like you can't come home and do like 4 to 9 every day.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's also like, if you need money, how else are you going to get it?
What do they need money for? They don't do anything.
They didn't. I needed money to do things.
Yeah. Well, they don't need money even. So what are they like? They're saving for university. Like, what do they need? But apparently just get scholarships and grants. And like, what do you need anything for?
Oh, until you graduate. And then you're like, oh my God, this is the real world. No, don't worry. You can move back home and live in my house.
Yeah. I really do think that in between, I feel like we're quiet parenting. I really do feel like this is like if there was a genre of what we would call it. I feel like kids go to their rooms. I feel like kids go on their devices. I feel like the negotiations in a household, I feel like you don't call to make a reservation at a restaurant anymore. You don't call customer care anymore. You don't talk to people when you're in the car. Like when you're in the car, very rarely do you do calls and like hear people's voices or like ask for things. There's no one to talk to. Like if you want customer service, you can't call anyone. It's all robots. So like these kids aren't hearing conversations or life skills or communication skills. I mean, I guess I get them at school, but if they have to go book a doctor's appointment, you're not calling someone, you're going online and you're booking it on a form. So when you show up.
And it's way more stressful than just calling. Would have been so much easier just to call.
Well, for some.
I will just try and call. They don't pick up.
No one picks up. They're like, email and we'll call you back faster. But I do think that within that, their capacity for life skills and learning and like, we're still living in a world that isn't fully the Jetsons yet. And so I feel like their capacity for what they have to do is so much because they never got building blocks to get to where
I feel like I never realized how much, like I really realized what university was for. And now that I see it and like my daughter, she said it and I was like, you're so right. It's like you're playing house, you're pretend grown up. It's like a baby step. You know, you have to get to and from, you know, take buses and trains and you have to manage your money and you have to find different classes and you have to study on your own. And like, that's what you'd be doing with your job. It's gonna, in those years, it's gonna be some major skills that are learned.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they have to be. They're gonna be doing things a lot on their own.
Yeah, but it's still, they don't have to think as hard. I think we had to think harder when we were teenagers than we would have if we had gone to university and had a food plan, first year residence, living
And it also seemed like so much fun. Like the things that we had to figure out, being like stranded somewhere, like it always felt fun. It was like,
no, it went different where you were like, you were roaming. You
were cold. You were so cold. We never wore winter boots. Like we didn't have boots. We didn't have mitts. We didn't have hats. We were always freezing cold. Like I remember being like, my legs are going to fall off.
You know, it's so weird because I was talking to a friend recently and she said she was embarrassed that her kid didn't get into something. And I said, you know, I'm going to appreciate that you're embarrassed that maybe they didn't get into school or a team or a thing. I said, but like, you're so, I know this is a different perspective, but I'm like, you're really lucky he's getting served these lessons at a very young age, because learning how to deal with failure is so hard for any age that at your age, you feel embarrassed when everyone gets fired, everyone fails something, but if you think no one else does, that's how much people are like, ignoring it. And I said, yeah, he's learning on a micro scale where it's safe, and his outcome of where he's at's even better than what you had hoped for.
And it's not as big to him probably as it is to you.
It's not.
And you know, that's like when we went through the process of like trying out for schools with one of my sons, and everyone had talked about it every day. Everyone was like, 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks. We'll have a cocktail party when it's done, when they finally get there. The morning comes when all the offers go out. Crickets. I thought everyone would be like, oh my gosh, like I got in here. Where did your kid get in? Crickets. I waited because we hadn't gotten anywhere at the time. And so I was like, you know what? I'm like, so much positive chat and support for each other. I'm going to go in and be like, hey, my kid didn't get in anywhere else. Anyone else in this situation? And it was like, nobody wanted to say it. And it was all these side conversations. Thanks so much for saying something. A lot of the people are going through a really hard time over here. If we can be positive with each other and we can tell each other,
if we can be a community when things are great, why can't we be a community when things are shit?
And we all know each other's kids. Nobody was a shit kid. So if you didn't get in, it wasn't like your kid is shit. We all know that. We need to support each other. But also, if you show that you're embarrassed in front of your kid's also going to feel that. Well, and then they're going to actually just feel bad that you feel bad.
Yeah, but I think if your kid can learn that feeling and be like, oh, but then look what you rebounded from and look what you did next. I'm like, you're in a way, you're so lucky because you can't teach that. They have to earn that. And when they earn that, they become like that's a skill that a lot of kids now bypass because parents don't want to tell their kid. They don't want to let them know that they're even applying for a school because there's too much pressure. Mm-hmm. So they don't even tell them. Mm-hmm. And then they go write a test, not even knowing what they're writing a test for. But I don't want to tell them because if they don't get in, they'll be devastated. And I'm like,
oh my gosh, yes. And that's also getting cut from teams or not making teams. Every time it happens, I'm like, I'm glad you get to feel this feeling. You know, oh, your name wasn't on the list. You didn't make the team. Great news. Because later in life, when you don't get the job or you get fired, you've already felt these feelings before.
And when it's a bigger problem, because let's just say your family's relying on your paycheck, but hey, when you were 10 and you figured it out and you ended up in a better position, and when you were 12 it happened, and when you were 14 it happened, look at how you rebounded. And I said to her, point out, I go, is he happy? She goes, he's so happy. I'm like, is he doing well? She's like, he's doing so well. I'm like, so did this not maybe turn out better than it potentially could have? And she's like, well, you're right. And I'm like, you're just thinking it should be this one way. Who the fuck cares?
And also it's easier that way at first, but everything that's easy doesn't make you grow. Right?
Nothing makes you grow. And they also say for boys, that like rejection's really important, especially when it's like girlfriends and stuff, like that the boys get so embarrassed to get broken up with, like it's their ego. And so having a conversation about like rejection and that it's not her, that it just might not be a fit. And that's not like, she's not a bitch, she's not a this. It's just, it's okay for her to not want to be with you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of problems come from boys' egos and relationships, and they might not even feel the fit too, but the pressure to have them like you and be the man about it is so high. So if you do have boys in relationships, very often will people say like, she broke up with me. They won't say it out loud.
I know.
It's like a big secret, but if you can normalize like that people don't always fit and that growing and moving on is very normal and to encourage them not to make fun of their friends.
Yes.
If they get broken up with, like it's not.
And also the other one is if like, you know how if they're like, oh man, did you like make out or did you have sex? And they just want to lie and say yes, to be brave enough to be like, no.
Yeah. I know. To like have, but I think those conversations need to be out loud, because if they're not out loud, that is an internal struggle that a lot of boys face, is to admit that they did get rejected, or to admit that they didn't get with a kid, get with a girl. I didn't get with her. Like, how many girls did you get with? I think that there is a lot of, I think it's our responsibility as parents to have constant conversations around relationships. And
so even more involvement parents, ones our parents didn't have with us.
Yeah, well, because the problem is with the males and the incel and stalking of girls on Snapchat, because they probably don't know that out of control feeling of not being chosen, and they're like, I know where she is. Did she choose someone else over me?
Yes.
They need to find their...
That is exactly what happened to the documentary I was watching yesterday, where he kidnapped her because he walked in and she was doing a project with another guy and he could not handle the fact that she didn't want to be with him anymore.
It's rejection.
So the rejection, I have to kill you.
I don't know why we don't normalize rejection. I don't know why we can't normalize it. That like rejection not being like rejection is part of rejection is even rejection. If someone's not right for you, they're not right for you. Like you can't expect everyone to be right for you.
No.
And who cares if they're right for someone else? I know it hurts, but like eventually you will find someone else. Have you seen the world? Have you gone out on planes? There's someone for everyone.
There is. And you do it. I mean, and it feels like, and I know what it feels like, but it feels like
it's terrible.
How long is this going to take to get over?
A while.
And then it is.
And then it does, but you learn from it. But being
is so dry.
But being like broken up with is part of life.
Oh yeah.
Divorce.
Yeah. And also it would be really lovely if, whether you're a boy or a girl, and if you got broken up with, that you could lean on your friends and tell them about it. Because I know when it happened to me, like I needed my girlfriends, you know, I needed them to be like, let's go out, let's do this, or like, let's talk about it. I think
it's much more normal for a girl to be brokenhearted in public than a male.
Yeah.
Even movies, TV shows, it's often like the scorned girl. A lot of the stories are men kind of being violent to a woman when they're scorned. Like it's not a lot of like crying, heartbreak. I feel sad. I feel like devastated. I loved her so much. It's not a lot of those narratives that go on in the story.
The gym teacher was saying that they're going to be doing this really big unit about consent. He's like, not just consent with girls, but like they're going to be doing it with like social workers and not the teacher. And so that it's kind of just sort of like having an open conversation where you can say things, not feel judged by your teacher, but consent about everything, consent about your things, your stuff, touching each other at all. Not just touching, just like everything. And I was like, oh, that's so great. And he's like, yeah, I try to do it, to make sure in our program, we do it like multiple times. So you do it in grade like 8, you do it again in grade 10. Yeah. And it's a continuous conversation for the boys.
I feel like they're very vocal about pictures. I do not consent for you to take that video right now. I do not consent. Like I hear that in my house all the time. All of them arguing, like, you cannot take a video of me. I did not consent. They're very versed on that.
Oh, they sure are.
It is the same application, but they need to hear it in different forms.
And that is like my kids' like biggest, like, if you want to piss the person off the most,
take a video.
And usually the kid is doing something like either like silly or annoying. Video. That'll stop them. But then it just turns into a huge fight.
And then they wrestle.
Oh my gosh. The physicality. I swear my house isn't big enough for these wrestling matches sometimes.
Or it's just big enough.
Yeah. I just sit there when it happens and I just go quiet and calm. Like Mark gets really upset. He's like, guys.
They're not going to hear you.
Stop. And I mean, they're just so in it. And I either leave the room, which I do often, or I just go quiet.
Well, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on what you think about, like, are we gentle parenting? Are we quiet parenting? Sorry, that's what I feel like we're in. Or do you feel like, nah, it's not much has changed? Because I even feel like car rides, kids now go on their phones. Rather than like talking.
That's why it's fun when they like grab the phone and then they put on music. And sometimes it blows my mind how and your daughter too, they'll put on songs. I've never heard it. The little kids are singing every single word. And I'm talking these little boys. Every single
Chloe knows every word to every song.
I'm like, when did you hear this song enough? Because where are you listening to music where I'm not there? Because you're only ever with me or at school. How do you know every single word?
Natalie.
Yeah.
Because they watch things and see things when we're not around.
Yeah. Like every word. And then they know all the old school songs from TikTok.
Yeah.
That is a song.
My kid doesn't even have TikTok and they can hear, like, can. Yeah. I'm like this.
Mm-hmm.
Do they go on a play date? Do they watch their siblings?
But I do love when they sing out loud every word in the car. It's fun.
Yeah, I know. Okay. We'll see you guys next week. Happy Monday.